An SSH tunnel via multiple hops. Tunneling data over SSH is pretty straightforward. Sets up port 9999 on your local host as a tunnel to example.com, but I have a more specific need. I am working locally on localhost. Host 1 is accessible to localhost. Host 2 only accepts connections from host 1. I need to create a tunnel from localhost to host 2. Effectively, I want to create a multi-hop SSH tunnel. How can I do this? Ideally, I'd like to do this without needing to be superuser on any of the machines.
You basically have three possibilities. Tunnel from localhost to host 1. As noted above, the connection from host 1 to host 2 will not be secured. Tunnel from localhost to host 1 and from host 1 to host 2. This will open a tunnel from localhost to host 1 and another tunnel from host 1 to host 2. However, the port 9999 to host 2 column 1234 can be used by anyone on host 1. This may or may not be a problem. Tunnel from localhost to host 1 and from localhost to host 2. This will open a tunnel from localhost to host 1 through which the SSH service on host 2 can be used. Then a second tunnel is opened from localhost to host 2 through the first tunnel. Normally, I go with option 1. If the connection from host 1 to host 2 needs to be secured, go with option 2. Option 3 is mainly useful to access a service on host 2 that is only reachable from host 2 itself. There is an excellent answer explaining the use of the proxy command configuration directive for SSH. Add this to your .ssh/config, cman5ssh_config for details. Then SSH host 2 will automatically tunnel through host 1, also works with X11 forwarding etc. This also works for an entire class of hosts, for example identified by domain. Update. OpenSH 7.3 introduces a proxy jump directive, simplifying the first example to.
OpenSH 7.3 onward supports a J-switch and a proxy jump option, which allow one or more comma-separated jump hosts, so you can simply do this now.
We have one SSH gateway into our private network. If I'm outside and want a remote shell on a machine inside the private network, I would have to SSH into the gateway, and from there to the private machine. To automate this procedure, I use the following script. What is happening? Establish a tunnel for the SSH protocol, port 22, to the private machine. Only if this is successful, SSH into the private machine using the tunnel. The &amp and amp operator ensures this. After closing the private SSH session, I want the SSH tunnel to close, too. This is done via the sleep 10 trick. Usually, the first SSH command would close after 10 seconds, but during this time, the second SSH command will have established a connection using the tunnel. As a result, the first SSH command keeps the tunnel open until the following two conditions are satisfied, Sleep 10 is finished and the tunnel is no longer used.
If you want to support the channel, please consider subscribing.